Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Shout out to
Risha
Cosby. Thank you for being our 28th subscriber. You're very special. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big shout out to ZZ. Big shout out to Ichan Hong. Big shout out to Zach Milne Does Movies. Big shout out to all our remaining subscribers. Thank you so much for supporting us. We're trying to come up with a logo for our channel
for a couple of years
now. But I'm too lazy. I was supposed to do that. But we will come up with something within the year. Hey, what's up, ZZ? Today we're going to talk about first season 2 of What If. And then we're going to talk about Reacher season 2 episode 6. And then we're going to talk about Fargo season 5 episode 8. And then we may or may not talk about the most anticipated films or shows of 2024, depending on our blood sugar level, because it's 7:30 p.m. on a Saturday in Korea right now, and Won-Jin and I, we usually get hungry around that time. But if enough of our subscribers want us to do it, we will do it eventually. Because we just started off 2024. Hey, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Everybody.
Wherever you are. I hope we can share magnificent experiences together. Now, we're going to talk about What If Season 2. The whole season. All 9 episodes.
And also, we will be talking about What If Season 1. So if you haven't seen What If, go Season 1, Season 2. Please be aware. There will be a lot of spoilers.
All Marvel's movies and shows ever made. Plus, we talk about adult themes, which include sexual content, mature violence, etc., etc. So if you're under 16, please come back when you're older. Here we go. So, Won-Jin, you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
You know, after season 2 ended, I didn't know it ended. I thought there was going to be, like, a couple more episodes.
You thought so?
Yeah. So, the point is, it just did not feel as conclusive as the first one. You know, when that strange Supreme came and he tries to, like, revive his universe and stuff, I thought that was not the end.
Hey, man, Won-Jin, I agree with you 100%. Let me be very clear, because me and Won-Jin decided to call this the Dragon Ball Syndrome, because, you know, we're both Koreans. I think most East Asians grew up with Dragon Ball.
Especially our generation, yeah. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
It's a magnificent piece of work, but what I mean by Dragon Ball Syndrome is every time a villain does Kamehameha, the next villain has to do
something
double
bigger.
Kamehameha, and then the next villain has to do like Super Saiyan 3 and 4. Like, so for me, I don't know about you, Won-Jin, but for me, my love story with Dragon Ball Z ends with 2 things. One is the 42-issue comic. Plus the original animation series. And then I did not watch anything else because I had enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I love you, but I don't need another Kamehameha.
And I would call this like a power inflation. with every new edition of Dragon Ball, there's always this huge power inflation. They always seem to go beyond, and they always have the same formula. It's like, hey guys, nothing bad's gonna happen today. Let's have a barbecue, and they all laugh and have a good time. And then there's like this alien invasion all of a sudden, and then all the friends die, and because of that, it triggers like this like intense emotional like outbreak from like Goku or Gohan, and they go crazy. They're like, "Wah!" And then that like unleashes some hidden power they're supposed to have, and then they dramatically defeat the villain, and that happens over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, but to me, What If Season 2 was even less than Dragon Ball, though. Because Dragon Ball always had Goku. You know, Goku will return. And then I felt like the Cell Saga was the perfect ending. Because there's this family element that we all universally love.
Yeah.
Now, problem with What If Season 2 is, maybe, like, this, especially this season, I felt like they should have just been an anthology. Like, they didn't need to, like, try to do what they did in season 1. But I understand the show's perspective, though. I felt like they needed to like try to bring something new to the table, and the only way to do that is if there's one Kamehameha, do double Kamehameha, right? And then another problem is, what if season 2 came after a lot of like the phase? Is it phase 4 or 5? I'm confused.
I think they're already at like phase 6.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like post Thanos saga, we saw a lot of different shows where the Infinity Stones are a little bit trivialized. They're not as important as before. We also got a lot of multiverse content.
Yeah.
So like a lot of what was presented in What If didn't feel as fresh for like the first season, because you remember even in the first season, that Watcher himself is a unique character to us.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on,
and we don't know what his powers are.
Yeah.
So that's why like you cannot calculate the power of my will moment. That Dragon Ball moment. That's why it was so hilarious and awesome.
No, hey, but that being said, I do have like 2 episodes that I did love though. Like, you want to go first? Which episodes did you like?
My favorite is the one with the Hela. Hela meeting the 10 rings.
That's the 6th one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That was my favorite episode because it gave the attention that Hela truly needed in the franchise. Because I always had this feeling that Hela was basically wasted.
No, but that's thanks to Kate Blanchett, though.
Yeah, from Thor 3.
Yeah.
And there was so much more to her story, but we didn't really get to see like all of it. But this gave us more view on that. So
I definitely think that
was
Kate
good.
Blanchett, though.
Yeah, the voice actor was also Kate Blanchett.
You think so?
Yeah.
Does anybody feel like they could have done a little bit more than what they did for the second season? I mean, I don't know though, but I did like some action scenes where it was only possible because it was an animated series. There are some great creative ideas there.
Yeah.
But back to Hela, like, cause I think like Thor 3, like, I think it's like a collaboration between Waititi and Kate Blanchett that brought that character to such fullness, and then because the personality is here directly too, and that particular episode I also did love because it's kind of Buddhist, where even a piece of shit can liberate herself from her sins or them.
What is it? The Scandinavian mythological god comes to a Buddhist town and meet Asians.
Yeah, it was wacky in a good way. Hey, Lizzie, I felt like there was something missing, but don't really know what it's. I mean, you want to talk about that? Won-Jin's been talking about it, but like the first season had this arc, this anthology first, and then suddenly the Avengers gather.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they have
and all those those individual episodes, they eventually had like a purpose in the end.
There we go.
And that's why they were like laid out first.
Yeah.
Even like that zombie Scarlet Witch, she comes into play later. But the problem with season 2 is they tried to do that, but it's only like half-assed. My point here is, yes, they do something similar, but not all the characters and all the episodes are involved. So basically, for example, the Hela episode.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, but I think
that Hela doesn't return.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. Like, but I think the problem was maybe they were a little bit. They wanted their cake and they wanted to eat it too. Where, because you got to remember, this is like a promotional show, or for diehard Marvel fans. And I think they wanted to lay out, because the ending kind of shows it's the Loki season 2 like Yggdrasil. So I think they had this. Oh
yeah, the tree.
Hard task of kind of nostalgizing about the old characters, but also trying to bring in the new. And they just, because remember the first season, I felt like there were no new characters. We all knew them.
Yeah.
We just see them in a different light.
Except Pocahontas.
Yeah.
What was her name?
No, I'm talking about the first season.
Oh, okay.
But that one was like, we're agreeing here. That one had all the characters we already know. But here we brought in the Pocahontas and the different elements.
What was her name? I feel guilty calling her Pocahontas because she's not Pocahontas.
No, but let's be honest. We all thought of Pocahontas. Like, when they hey, Won-Jin, let me tell you. When I started watching that episode, I was waiting for them to speak English.
Kahhori. Yeah, Kahhori.
No, but like seriously, Won-Jin, I was waiting for them to change it to English. And then when they continued to speak that Native American language, I was just like, why?
But I did think it was quite interesting. It kind of gave me the feeling of watching the Dances with Wolves.
No, it didn't annoy the fuck out of me because there were no, like, unless the Spaniards arrived, I was like, it's okay, we get it. And maybe they do it at the start and then change it to English, like, gradually, so we know that they're talking in English. But I just felt like it was kind of a... And I have a little problem with that episode because, listen, this anti-colonialism, like, I have nothing against that. It's just... We beat that horse to death, like, okay, we get it, you know what I mean? So, I mean, and I was kind of confused about her power, too. Like, what is her power? Is she, like, half Flash, half Time Freezer or something?
Or, like, half Captain Marvel, or, yeah, it was quite ambiguous what exactly their powers
were. No, I was
were.
very confused about her powers. And
another problem I had with that episode is we just talked about their native language and they refuse to speak English. But in the end, when she goes to meet the Queen of Spain, she suddenly speaks Spanish. So when did she learn that?
No, but I don't know. I like some ideas from it. It's just been... The problem for me is there were better shows and better movies that done this already. So if you're going to bring in a superhero element, right? That's fine, but I felt like there was a plus alpha missing. You know what I mean? In terms of originality. And I didn't get her powers either. Listen, I didn't understand why, like, Doctor Strange needed to, like, get her specifically at the end either. I was kind of confused by it. It almost like the show wanted her at the last episode. Like the Peggy Carter angle I understood, because I thought that was a very smart dialogue where, since you lost Steve Rogers, you understand me, right? That was actually like, that's like a real psycho dialogue. You know what I mean? That was very convincing.
If anybody's to understand, it's you.
Yeah, like that's a very, very like smart delusional man. And I thought that was smart. I thought they kind of hemmed in her in. That's like how I honestly felt.
What would be like your second favorite episode?
It was the one with which one was it?
Mine was the death race.
Oh,
that crazy race?
Yeah.
That would be my second favorite after the Hela episode.
Actually, mine is like Hulk Hogan one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I love that episode because they're not overpowered until the Hulk comes, and then it's all like shenanigans. So I like that, and I wish they did a little bit more with it.
I also like how the episode was structured. It has that flash forward and then rewinds back to show us what happened.
Yeah.
That was neat, and it had a lot of Die Hard homage to it.
Yeah,
there's so many Die Hard moments in there. I can tell like it was intentional because it was Christmas.
Yeah.
Like when the server room opens, it's the same moment they open the vault with the music. And in the last scene, like the falling, where Alan Rickman like drops from the Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Elevator shaft.
No, because I love the element of like Hogan being like a regular guy in this crazy universe. Yeah, Zizzy, my favorite was the last one. I was actually a bit sad at that. Like the last one, the problem I have is I wish the last one, the last two episodes, I just okay, let me explain. My least favorite was the 8th episode, like the 1600 one.
Oh, the one where Captain Carter is trapped in
17th century Shakespearean and Elizabeth era England.
There's someone from the future hiding there.
Yeah, I hated that one because I didn't know what the fuck. I did not know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, me neither. And I was wondering why the sky was opening up.
And then Carter and the Watcher was like, "Oh, so two timeline blend in." I was like, "Okay." And then Robin, okay. I was just like, I don't know. Like, too much of a good thing is bad for me. Like, in terms of like the plot cohesiveness, I didn't understand at all. And then when Doctor Strange came up later, I was like, Like after I watched the whole season, I was like, I wish like the last episode was like 45 minutes to 1 hour long, so we get more dramatic like input, where maybe Kahhori and Captain Carter gets to be more like know each other. I agree. It was almost like like a fan service that does too much. And
if you compare it with the last episode of season 1, you can clearly see its lacking because, you know, there were a lot of these like awesome action sequences and moments in the last episode of season 1. Remember when, you know, Ultron is about to like blow up the entire galaxy? Doctor Strange kind of swallows the explosion.
Yeah.
And then he's completely baffled about it. He unleashes that tentacle dragon thing and everything.
Another problem is like the 8th episode, they had hints of it in the prior episodes. It's just they didn't give us enough to emotionally connect with each character in episode 8. They kind of just assumed that we love these characters from the movies and whatnot. Unlike season 1 where we spend so much time with the Avengers that will eventually assemble that we kind of understand each one. Here, like, and this is the problem with I think this is a problem caused by the latest like multiverse and Loki seasons where we know you're not real. Like you're not a singular thing. You know, there's multiple Steve Rogers anyway, so why should I care about you?
Yeah.
So there were Bucky and Hogan. Like I was confused as whether you were the same Hogan as the one we saw before,
in Infinity War,
or Bucky of like old. So I didn't care about any of the characters.
And another thing that this season lacks compared to season 1 is that season 1, when you look at the story and also the characters, for example, Doctor Strange was given a chance for redemption. Because remember, he basically destroys his universe because of his obsession for Christine, but he gets another chance. And then he, you know, all that time spent swallowing those monsters, they eventually pay off in the last episode. We did not have that in season 2. There is no character that kind of builds up, and there's no payoff in the end.
No, like the problem with like bringing in that Doctor Strange itself is a problem because it's Dragon Ball syndrome. Because there's like you need an overpowered villain, and he's the only one that fits the bill. We already had an Ultron that's basically a god. So once you start
Infinity Ultron.
Yeah, but I did like the demon coming out of him. And that representing his obsession with that and him separating his human side. So there were smart elements in the episodes. It's just like they were not emotionally impactful as the first one.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of felt that it wasn't over. And then once I realized that was the last episode, I was like, huh, that's it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's give a number grade to this one, though.
I would give this like a 7.5.
7?
Yeah, 7.5.
I'll give it a 6. Because some episodes I was just really bored. Like that one with Black Widow.
There was one with Black Widow?
Yeah, Black Widow is...
yeah, it must have been horrible because I completely forgot.
No, the Iron Man, Steve Rogers is in that suit. Like, and then they meet the Russian agents and stuff.
I forgot what exactly happened, but there was the Hydra Stomper thing.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. That's it. Yeah.
And I think part of it is also just Marvel fatigue. We've seen Iron Man so many times, like. But that's why I guess you like that racing one, because the race car turning into Iron Man and then turning into race car.
I wasn't really fascinated about that. I was fascinated by the Death Race itself. Okay. Have you seen the movie Death Race from 2008? Yeah. I thought that movie was awesome.
2008?
Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
We're going to get a chance to talk about that. But anyway, so 6. So we give this a 6.5. My recommendation is if you love Marvel, you're going to love this. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just for me and Won-Jin, I think you'll agree here. The first season set a very high bar.
Yeah.
And then this one just doesn't meet that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're going to be back in around 3 minutes to talk about Reacher Season 2, Episode 6. Thank you so much. This has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
See you soon.
We'll be right back.
Bye.
America.
Crescendo. Micheloma. Vala hola que lodo bom. Ilo menino. Fili que coloque. JoeJinMovieSoAwesome que la balou. Fili. Fili fala.